Hi, I'm Alicia and today on The Spirit of Food, we're in my home county, not my hometown. My hometown is Whigham, Georgia, which is right down the road. It's even smaller than Cairo, Georgia. But today we're in Cairo, Georgia at Mr. Chick's, which is sort of a legend in its own time. They have great steaks, they have great sweets here, but they are known for, their chicken fingers, as you would expect from the name. They also have a really cool antique museum behind that we're going to go explore too. So let's go get to it. Now we're in the back of the house, and I have the owner's son and your partner in the business as well,
yes,
Jason Lynn. And you guys are known for your chicken strips and your hand-cut steaks. Now, when some people say hand-cut steaks, they mean they have a piece of power, machinery that actually does it. But you actually
cut it with a knife.
And how long do you have? Do you age your steaks? Tell me about your process there.
We try to age them at least 50 days before we cut them. And it's a wet age. And we cut every night, the order, and we just do it on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights.
And that's one of my favorite comfort foods. I told you that. Like sometimes when I'm having a bad week on Friday night, I'll come by, go through the drive-thru, get me a steak, and take it home and be a happy camper. Now, you guys do your breading of your chicken here, and so you keep it very fresh, and then you go straight into the oil. Tell me about the ice, why you have ice on top of it here.
The ice is to keep it fresh and keep it cool, and when you're real busy, you don't have to take it out of the cooler. You can just leave it on the table and then take it to the grease.
So what's your favorite event that you've ever had here?
Well, I think the car rally would be a good event.
Right.
And it brings in a lot of people from all over.
And then that's every May.
And every May, and then Rattlesnake Roundup and Mule Day is usually the two busiest weeks of the year.
Yeah, I would think so.
A lot of people come home to visit, and then therefore they want to come back to see Mr. Chick.
Right, great. All right, well, we're going to go talk to Michael Best about some more history and stuff like that of you guys. So thank you for your time.
Yes, ma'am.
Two of my favorite things at Mr. Chick's tonight is something right here that Southerners know is really, really delicious, but other people might not like. It's cellophane wrapped cake. It's almost as good as peanuts on the side of boiled peanuts on the side of the road, but if you have never had cellophane wrapped cake, you need to try it. It's a Southern thing. And the other thing that I love here tonight is my sweet little mama and daddy, Clara Nell and Wendell Larkin. Now for my favorite part of the show, it's when we get to eat and talk to somebody really interesting like maybe Michael Best.
I'm the official spokesperson for Mr. Chick when everybody's gone.
And better known as the Mouth of the South.
That's right, or the legendary voice of the Syrup Makers.
That's right, the Syrup Makers, of course, is the football team here.
Right.
And let's talk about the food. We have the hand-cut steaks, and then their famous chicken fingers, and tell me about the sauces.
Well, the chicken strips are without a doubt probably the favorite of everyone. They have what they call a kitty strip, where you can get just 3 strips and French fries, of course, or the big plate like we have here. And the chicken strips are hand dipped and fried, and it's just all white meat, and it is delicious.
They're huge.
Without a doubt. Yes, and they're big and meaty. And the two favorite sauces are the ranch and what they call the Jason sauce. Give that a try. That's
that's good.
Kind of it's a tangy sauce, but it's. It goes well on anything. I mean, you can dip anything in it. You can dip a French fry is very good at it.
Is that your favorite?
You can put anything in Jason sauce in it. And some people get dipped strips, which the entire strip is dipped in the sauce. So.
It's good. A little bit spicy too.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about, we're sitting right now in the Antique Car Museum, which is a big part of Mr. Chick's personality. I mean, it really is a lot of who they are. Tell me more about how they got started in the antique car collection.
When Wayne and Roseanne met, Wayne had an interest in antique cars and eventually bought a car. And he worked on remodeling it, refurbishing it, and it just kind of became his hobby. And then it ballooned from there. It started in an old barn behind the original Mr. Chick, which is in the current parking lot now. And he just kind of tinkered around back there and began to work on cars, and then it ballooned from there. It led to buying another car and another car and another car, and eventually you have this collection of things that go from anything from cars to toys to dolls to furniture to anything that people think are of value that they want people to continue to see. They wind up bringing it here and giving it to Wayne. They have 3 buildings of different cars, and originally the plan was to just have this on showcase for other people to enjoy, and a place that, because a lot of these things are in people's barns and you know, in an attic somewhere, and people didn't want to throw it away, so a lot of this was just donated to Wayne and Rose, and he's kept it and cleaned it and, you know, set it up for display. And groups come in. Groups are always welcome to come in. We have an antique car rally in Cairo that they're responsible for.
Let's talk about how that got started. That's a really cool story.
That started with the Great American Race, which is a race that goes all the way through the United States, and they made an unscheduled pit stop in Cairo. All these cars were on the way to Tallahassee, and they stopped in Cairo, and we had watermelon and lemonade and the band playing and balloons, and the whole town came out and just had a great time. And when they left, they talked about how, you know, how much they enjoyed being in Cairo. And then at the end, it was at Disney World's where they finished up. They were to vote on their best pit stop in the whole United States. And Cairo wasn't even on the list, and they all rode in Cairo. It was a unanimous choice of all these hundreds of drivers, and they spread the word and said, vote for Cairo. And Cairo won the Hospitality Award, and that's how they became the Hospitality City.
Well, you know, this has been a location too, I think this whole county. There's been a lot of talent. There's been a lot of interesting people that have come out of this area. Can you name some of them? I mean, you just recently you celebrated Teresa Edwards.
Right, Teresa Edwards, of course, is the and you know, she's the team leader of the U.S. team. Gold medal winner, Daryl Singletary from Wiggum. He's a country music star. He's from here. And
I told you, I used to beat him up on the back of the bus, the church bus, for trying to kiss me.
Teresa Edwards used to beat me up, you know. So there you go. But of course, Teresa, and then you know, Cairo is of course home to Jackie Robinson, who was the first African American baseball player. He was born here. So there's a lot of different. You know, Mickey Thomas with Starship,
right?
With Elvin Bishop, he's from Cairo. So it's kind of unique. And then we've got football players like Bill Stanfield, who played for the Miami Dolphins, played for Georgia. Bobby Walden, who played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, he's from Cairo. So.
Right, there's so many.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I always say about Tallahassee that it's a little big town. There's a lot of important people that are there, you know, but it's not that big of a town. It's not like what you would think. But there's a lot of smart people, a lot of important people. But Cairo is sort of that way. It's a little big town. A lot of fun, really cool things happen here. A lot of cool people come out of this place, you know.
Well, the whole Cairo syrup maker thing is very unique. There's no other mascot. In fact, you know, it's been voted the most unique mascot in the entire nation by ESPN and by Sports Illustrated.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about, this is not Cairo syrup.
Right.
People always say, oh, you're from Cairo, you know, syrup makers, that's Cairo syrup.
Right, that's K-A-R-O, and of course, spell it like Cairo and say it like Cairo.
Right.
So, but it's very unique, and people want to know about the legend of the syrup maker and how did it, you know, come about. And actually, there's a couple of stories, but the story that is repeated the most is Mr. Roddenberry donated to the football team some rain jackets, and on the back the company put syrup maker in 2 different words because it came from Roddenberry's, and eventually it stuck. They were originally the Tigers, which is, you know, there's a million Tigers. So we're the only syrup makers, and that's kind of stuck through the years.
So it's Roddenberry syrup,
in
Cairo, Georgia.
In Cairo,
That's spelled
Georgia.
Like Cairo, Egypt. Just to clarify, in case you didn't know.
And the Roddenberrys donated a lot of their you know, memorabilia to Wayne as well, and it's in the restaurant. Coach Bobby Bowden used to eat here quite regularly. They would kind of mark off the back room for him, and he'd slip in and have supper here. So it's just a place that you'll read on Facebook and other places where kids that go off to college say, I can't wait to get home and eat Mr. Chick.
Well, this has been the spirit of food in my little own hometown, we'll say county. My hometown is Wiggum, as we mentioned before, but this is a kissing cousin to that at Cairo, Georgia. And this has been Mr. Chick. We've seen their antique museum. We've talked to the legendary voice of the syrup makers, and that's not Cairo syrup, that's Roddenberry syrup. But it's Cairo spelled like Cairo in Egypt, just to make that all very clear for you. And this has been the spirit of food on The Greg Tish Show.